one take, one shot. This is the Raw review where I do it with no edits whatsoever immediately following Raw, so you get my gut reaction, my visceral take on said WWE. That way I'm not influenced by anybody else. And today we're going to talk about Kairi and Asuka. They turned. We saw it coming, and yet they did it so perfectly. Triple H did that thing where he produced a really crappy product, WrestlePalooza, and then he gives us a really good Raw. This was a very solid Raw. I'm not going to pretend that I didn't like it. Just because I didn't like WrestlePalooza and I think it sucked, I'm not going to take it out on tonight's Raw. This was a good show. Very much enjoyed myself tonight. We're at the main event, right? We're at the main event. Throughout the show, we have, what was it? Stephanie Fakir. She just came out from, giving a speech on how she was going to be, a fighting champion and all that stuff. And her English has vastly improved. I can really tell. And, so Stephanie's in the back. And then Nikki comes out and says, oh, this is going to be a great championship. Lots of respect there. And then Rhea comes and says, oh, you're going to be such a great champion. Lots of respect there to Stephanie. But then Asuka comes. And Asuka is like, you should be champion. Love that. So much better when there's someone, when there's a face and there's a heel. It just works so much better that way. And then eventually Rhea will be like, I'm sick of you. I am so sick of you. I can't deal with you. And then Asuka's like, I'm sick of you too. Again, great. Challenge for the main event tonight. And I was like, what? We're going to have a main event that's not Braun and Bronson Reed? Love those guys, but it's been a while. And so Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. Now, there will be one more segment where Io's like, oh, but you don't have to do this, Rhea. And yes, she does. Because they're wrestlers. That's their job. They do fight. And Io one time tried to talk Asuka out of it. And Asuka's like, no, I don't need to listen to a loser, which was hilarious. So she leaves, and they finally explain why Io and Kairi are so indebted to Asuka, why they're allowing such why they're allowing to be abused like they have been. And it's because Kairi told Asuka, she brought us here. So my understanding is either A, she brought them from Japan to America, or she brought them into the WWE, or both. So Kairi definitely feels a loyalty to her, like she owes her. She's in debt to Asuka. That's how I interpreted that, and that would make sense. And so perfect, right there. Now we have a reason why Io has allowed Asuka to be such a jerk to her, why Kairi continues to allow it, and that's beautiful stuff. Now we have an explanation, and we've seen it moving along throughout the months and weeks, months, whatever. And then we get to tonight's main event. There was no title on the line, but I have a title on the line. It is the WWE Championship title. I'm going to give it away at 20,000 subscribers to win it. I'm being serious right here. To win this belt right here, all you got to do is comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, ding, 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 notification. All right, so now we're in the, I'm really going to give it away. I've already given away two, trying to quit the day job, and free shipping. Not a toy. Okay. So anyway, sorry. Sometimes the caffeine just is a little too much, and I just gotta go. All right. So anyways, we're at the match. It's a great match. This is the main event. We'll talk about all of Raw, but I want to talk about and focus on this right here because that's what the thumbnail is on. And some people just want to talk about the thumbnail. So we have Rhea and Asuka. They fight. Great match. I loved it. This was two top tier talents, and this could have been on WrestlePalooza. And this could have been on Crown Jewel. I think it should be on Crown Jewel. I thought it was going to be Rhea versus Stephanie, or whoever won that match, because they're going to be in Australia. But apparently it's going to be champion versus champion. So Rhea needs an opponent, and this would be a perfect opponent. I would say that even though they had this match, and even though Rhea Ripley won, Rhea Ripley will win with a roll-up. And I'll say this, normally I hate roll-ups. Normally, roll-ups, especially when it's Drew McIntyre. But tonight's roll-up, it worked. It worked because if you don't have any roll-ups on the show, and you don't do too many, period, then the roll-up is a tool in the arsenal. It's just when it gets overused, it becomes frustrating. So if they can just pull back to like 1 or 2 a month, that would be great. And tonight was a perfect example of how to use the roll-up while keeping everyone strong. Because throughout the match, Asuka kept telling Kairi to punch Rhea. And Kairi's so funny. She reminds me, her acting reminds me of William Shatner on Star Trek. Like, I don't know if I should. And I'm saying that in an endearing way. I love Star Trek. And Deep Space Nine is my favorite, the Cisco. But Kairi doing her William Shatner, not knowing if she should attack or not. And it was good stuff. It was good stuff. It was entertaining. Kairi finding a character out of nowhere, making the smallest thing into a full-fledged, fleshed-out character. I give props to Kairi. Basically, completely based on just her name getting yelled off camera. And so, throughout the whole match, she's like, I don't know if I should hit Rhea or not. And eventually gets to a point where the ref is talking to Asuka. Kairi, she runs around looking at her fist, not knowing if she's going to hit Rhea. She gets on the apron. She swings at Rhea. Rhea catches her, but then that's when Asuka does the, she turns around, hit the ropes, hit like her butt or something. She hits Kairi off. That little distraction or hiccup allows Rhea to pin her 1, 2, 3. Beautiful stuff here because now Asuka can be like, yeah, you didn't really beat me because that was just a roll-up, and that's because my friend Kairi actually screwed up and got in the way. So now Asuka has all the excuses in the world to not blame herself, blame someone else, Kairi, and Rhea is just like, well, I beat you. But then we have the miss. Psst, she spits in Rhea's face, so she can't really enjoy it. Rhea goes down. Asuka's like, attack. And now Kairi, she's torn. What does she do? This is the person who brought her into the company, maybe even the country, giving her a whole new life. And then there's Rhea, who's done nothing wrong. Then Kairi attacks. Kairi starts beating down a defenseless Rhea Ripley with the mist in her eyes. She cannot do nothing. But then Io Sky comes, and Io's like, no, stop. This is not right. And then what happens? We have Asuka says, you're right. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? They start crying together. They're relieved. Io's relieved that she's talked some sense into her. And nope, elbow. I think it was an elbow. And Io's down. Kairi, oh no, what do I do? It's one thing to beat up Rhea, but it's another thing to beat up Io Sky. But not enough because you still owe Asuka. And boom, boom, boom. Kairi Sane attacks Io now, and she doesn't want to, though. She is like beating her up as she does not want to do it. If you're a Peacemaker fan, it's kind of like young Peacemaker having to do all the things that his dad wanted him to do. He does it, but he doesn't want to do it. And there's even there's a moment which I appreciated that Rhea gets up a little bit and then Io takes her down again. I like that because I don't want another scenario where CM Punk goes through the table and has to sit there for 10 minutes. So I appreciated that while the segment was running long, the beatdown, that Rhea got beat down again to kind of show that, she could have got up, but she couldn't get up because she got hurt again, if that makes sense. You gotta, every once in a while, you gotta throw another jab in there. And we have Asuka holds her and tells she tells Kairi to get up there, and Kairi does. She has to do the insane elbow to her friend as she's being held by Asuka, and she doesn't want to. She's basically crying, but she does it. And she's down on her knees, like, what have I done? What have I become? While there's just carnage all around her. And Asuka is just standing tall, laughing, just proud of herself. And Kairi's in tears. I think there were tears. She was definitely not happy. And yeah, and that's how we ended it. That was a great ending. Great, beautiful ending. Loved it, loved it, loved it. It was good stuff. And we actually even had a match with Jey Uso and LA Knight, yeah, that could have, of all the times they did not put the combination of the Brawns, the Usos, and LA Knight in the main event. This one actually could have been in the main event, but I do agree that the Asuka heel turn matchup was definitely the right call, and it was very refreshing at the same time. Hopefully Asuka and Io, I bet it's gonna be. I could see Asuka and Rhea doing it again, but it's probably gonna be Rhea, Io, Asuka, Kairi at Australia, which is kind of like, I don't know about that, because the Kabuki Warriors should be a tag team now. They should just go after the tag team belts, but we got to handle this situation. So good stuff there. Good stuff. Loved it. That was a beautiful heel turn, because we knew it was coming. We didn't know when it was coming, but when it came, it happened in such a very, satisfying way, even, you could say. And they got the proper beatdown. They got the faces. The faces got beat down. Loved it. Loved it. That was good stuff right there. And that's how I know, Triple H, you are actually a decent booker and a decent writer. But I don't know what happens that you allow WrestlePalooza. Like, what happened there, Triple H? That's why I get so mad at you, Triple H, because I know you're so good. But then you produce crap like WrestlePalooza, and you make me lose faith in you. And now I'm going to take it week by week. You no longer have any of my trust. I'm just going to take it week by week. This week, this Monday Night Raw was good. WrestlePalooza, one of the worst things I've ever seen. But I digress. Let's go back now to the beginning. The beginning started off pretty hot. We got Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes comes out. And he kind of starts talking about some stuff, but then Seth Rollins, his music hits. The Vision comes out. Thankfully, it's all of the Vision, except for Becky. I don't know if Becky is in the Vision or if she's just like, I don't know, aligned with the Vision. But either way, everybody but Becky comes out, and Seth is like, I got this. He goes in. Seth and Cody, they have a good back and forth, and Seth is even like, you call yourself the quarterback, but I run this place. You're my quarterback, if anything. And they just go at it. He's like, what do you think of me? And Cody's like, that's complicated, man. I owe you a lot. But, like, what do you think of you? And that's where Seth says, you're my quarterback. I'm wearing the watch you gave me, but today's the only day I'm wearing it. I'm going to beat you. You go on these talk shows. You say you're the best. You're not the best. I am. I've been here. I've been doing all this. So it's going to be champion versus champion at Crown Jewel. Cody Rhodes was showcasing his ring, even though the belt itself, that huge gaudy belt that's about the size of Rhode Island, is going to stay in Saudi Arabia. But I guess the ring, Cody has 9 more fingers apparently, so he's going to go for another ring. Seth, it was a great promo. It was a really good promo, honestly. But the thing that I would have changed is, eventually they let Cody starts to walk away, right? But the Vision is still in the aisleway. Why not? Why wouldn't Seth say, go beat him up? Like, literally, just beat up Cody Rhodes. Just beat him up, and that's all you had to do. Just beat up Cody Rhodes right here, and we could have got some heat. Yeah, it was a very intense promo, and it was a good promo, but I see a lot of promos. I would like a beatdown. I would like actual heat. Let Cody take a beatdown. That's it. That's all you had to do. But they did it, and Cody just walks away. So, a sign of respect from Seth Rollins. Whoa. What else did we have? Becky will be really funny later. Becky will really be funny. We will actually have a segment where Becky is just like, she's kind of talking about everything that happens throughout the night, and she's just crashing out. I thought she said she was going to go into the main event and do something tonight, so I kept waiting for Becky to come out, but she never did. So I must have misunderstood, or they must have miscommunicated, but yeah, but Becky had a great showing right here, kind of just, again, just showcasing why she's the best in the world. And that's not just me saying it. That's Sports Illustrated, that's Bleacher Report, that's ESPN. So Becky just had a moment, but she made the most of it, and she was great, while Seth just was like, trying to think while she was just crashing out behind him. What else did we have going on here? The Bronze, no CM Punk. No CM Punk, AJ Lee. That kind of sucks, actually. I know. Oh, well, now we're just anticipating them more. I mean, they just had a big win. I expected them tonight. They should have been here to celebrate their victory. We have Seth also called himself the Alpha. Oh, Jimmy J. This was cool. So Jay's kind of standing around, and Jimmy walks up to him. He's like, dude, what are you doing? I wanted another tag match with the Bronze, but it says you already got a match with LA Knight. And he's like, yeah, man, I got a match with LA Knight. If he wasn't there last night, we would have won. In fact, if you wouldn't have teamed up with him last week, then we wouldn't have had to deal with him. And then he's like, whoa, you blaming me? He said, nah. And then he kind of got like, whatever. But that was picture perfect Roman gaslighting that Jay did to Jimmy. So I loved it. And then later we will see, what happened later? I don't even remember right now. We will have, Jimmy tells Cody Rhodes to go talk to Jay. And so Cody sits down, has a heart-to-heart, like a man-to-man talk with Jay, and Jay's like, I'm good, don't worry about it. He wasn't getting attitude with him, but he was eyeballing Cody Rhodes' championship. And then when Cody did leave, he definitely gave him a look. He gave him a look that was more of a grimace than anything. So, like, Jay is inch by inch getting closer and closer to being the next Roman Reigns. And they do have a match. We'll talk about their match last. Another thing that happened is that Grande Americano, his original faction from Mexico, is coming back finally. It was kind of like I akin to this to CM Punk and AJ Lee. You know how CM Punk came and then AJ Lee was comfortable enough to re-enter WWE? Looks like the same thing happened with the Grande Americanos. We had a video packages where Grande Americano and his other two part of his trio that I guess used to wrestle in Mexico, they're coming to the WWE now. So I'm really happy that Grande Americano has felt that now was the right time for the entire faction, everybody to come back. So now we got that going on, 3 Grande Americanos, and that's just a beautiful thing. I love the multiculturalism of this. It's so on the nose. Then we have, what else we got? Asuka yelling at everybody. Oh, Dom, in the beginning when LA Knight walked in, instantly Rusev grabs Dominic Mysterio, threw him against some crates, and he's like, I'm coming for you, and then he kind of leaves. So Dom's like, guys, we got to do something. And Finn's like, oh, I thought you were big and bad, Mr. Big and Bad. Go get your friend Grande. He's like, he's not here today. We need help. And then he's like, JD, can you help me? And JD's like, I don't know. But then Roxanne says, come on, we're Judgment Day, so fine, whatever. Then we have JD McDonough versus Rusev. And I'm liking Rusev again. I think this feud with Dominic, even though it's been 2 weeks, it's doing wonders for Rusev, because I'm like, ooh, I want to see Rusev get his hands on Dom. So we have JD versus Rusev. This match went too long. I know JD is very talented, but because of how they've presented JD in the past, this match should have went 5, maybe 6 minutes. It should have been mostly Rusev with about a 1-minute flurry from JD. I know. A lot of people like JD, but this is how they presented him. So it's a back and forth, good match, whatever the case may be. When it's all said and done, we have the, what is it called? I forget what his move is called now. Shoot. He does a mancha kick. He wins. But then he does the I don't know, whatever that is. He does his move, and then he won't let go. Dominic is considering getting in, but he's afraid to get in. But then eventually Finn Balor comes, and he does blindside Rusev, and he gets Rusev out of the ring. And then Finn's like, "What are you doing, man? What are you doing? Why didn't you help him? Why didn't you help him?" And they go back arguing. So Dom is just so much afraid of Rusev, and Finn is getting mad at Dom, and so does it seem like JD. So Dom's time might finally actually be short in Judgment Day. Roxanne Perez, she will lose a match to Bayley. One of the Baileys. She fought two Baileys, actually, because Bayley, she has that split personality now. Hugger Bayley brought Lyra to the ring and was fighting most of the match, but then eventually Raquel started beating up Lyra, and that turned Bayley into Ding Dong Hello Bayley, and then that is the one that beat Roxanne Perez, and then that also did eventually confuse Lyra. So that's the key here. Lyra and Bayley still attached, but Lyra not knowing who she is dealing with, and she hasn't figured out that there's multiple personalities yet. I think that's it, other than Jay and LA Knight. Yeah. So AJ does want to fight. AJ and Dragon Lee. They don't like. There's multiple Americana Grandes. And then, okay, so let's talk Stephanie Fakir. She did give a good speech, and she's going to be fighting the winner of Jade, Tiffany, and or Nia at Crown Jewel, because, champion versus champion. And then the final match of the night, well, not the final match of the night, but the final match we're going to talk about. This is the one I'm so sorry. The New Day. Thank God I remembered, because the New Day fought Penta and the War Raiders. This was the second match. It was a no DQ match, and it was very, very good. This is how you have a match, your second match of the night. It went long, but it was perfect and beautiful. Other than the fact that the New Day lost, I don't understand why the New Day can't really get their one-uppins on Penta when he's a singles star. A tag team versus singles stars, the tag team should kind of sort of win, unless this was to bring Phoenix, but it doesn't seem like it was to bring Phoenix. It was great back and forth. Everything was great. Although, I don't know. Maybe I'm just old, because I lived in the Attitude Era, and I was totally like, oh yeah, throw him off the top of the steel cage. But Penta did a Canadian Destroyer on Big G, Grayson Waller, and woo, I was like, we should not be doing a second rope, top rope Canadian Destroyer on a random Raw. I don't care if you do that perfect, you're still kind of in an awkward position in landing, and you could get hurt. Maybe I'm just old and I'm a dad. I just worry about these wrestlers. I don't want anybody to get hurt. So other than the New Day losing, which sucked, it was a great match. And the War Raiders and Penta, they did win. Now we go to the second to last match. This is the last match I'm going to talk about. Jey Uso, LA Knight. This, again, great match. Jey Uso has an edge while still coming to yeet. He got the yeets in. He got the encore in. And yet, he was all black. He had an attitude about himself. And I remember people used to, only 3 moves. You don't notice. If he only has 3 moves, you don't notice when he's this version of Jey Uso. He's so confident. He's so conflicted. He's so refreshing like this. And LA Knight's just good regardless. And they had a great back and forth. Eventually the Bronze will get involved. And it's like, why are they even getting involved? But fine, whatever. Because they did say that the Usos and Bronze were going to have a Texas Tornado match, so maybe that's why they got involved. But they get involved. They did. LA Knight has to fend them off, right? He gets back in the ring, and boom, spear, 1, 2, 3. Jey Uso wins. And it's like, oh man, LA Knight, darn it, gee whiz. He starts to walk to the back, and then the Bronze are coming in, right? And then Jimmy comes out and says, come on, man, let's go help him. And Jay's like, nah, and he walks into the back. Jimmy grabs a chair and goes into the ring, and then everybody leaves. And again, this just shows Jay is just getting closer and closer and closer. Now he's like, I don't need to help LA Knight. Now he doesn't even need to help his brother. He's looking at himself first. He's looking at what he can do, what he has lost, what he needs to do to get back to the top. Who does that remind you of? Roman freaking Reigns, and I'm all for this. Make Jey the Tribal Chief 2, and Roman can be the Tribal Chief 1, and we can have Roman Roman as the tribal elder and Jey as the tribal chief. This was a good Raw. I did yawn like 14 times. It just eventually, I think around an hour and a half, hour and 45-minute mark, I'm going to start yawning. But I did enjoy myself. I said like 14 times. It might have been 15 even. I didn't have my counter, so I tried to keep it all in my head. And someone said there was like 9 commercials at the hour and 50-minute mark. So I'm not sure how many more commercials happened after that, because now I went to Australia today, actually. It was like, instead of Canada. So, like, g'day, mate! And, what else? What else was I going to say? Oh, how many chops I'm going to give this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 chops. 8 chops. Great ending. Almost great beginning if they would have beat him down. Plus, great character movement with Jey. Bayley's got a storyline. Grande Americanos. Like, yeah. Solid 8. Solid 8. All right, boys. All right, girls. Tell me what your number is. How many chops you give it in the comments below. And you have a great day. See you. Bye.